Hey, so I'm a little late to this, but it's whatever. Project L had some news a little while ago about like the tag mechanics and actual like gameplay. And Alawi, by the way, she's actually in. I don't really want to talk about the video itself. I mean, the gameplay is sick. It looks nice. I mean, it looks not finished, but it looks nice. We got to see a lot of mechanics and stuff, and I think other people did better mechanical breakdowns than I could. So I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I was actually looking through the comments, and people they're a little lost. Plenty of people seem a little confused about some things because I was looking through stuff like this. Like there's some, you don't have to do this. I selected a couple. I have them up here, and I just want to go through them with you guys. So yeah, first up, I guess disclaimer: don't bully people for their opinions or misconceptions or whatever. They're just giving their thoughts on the situation. I'm sure a lot of people want this game to be good, or they would just like a good product. Some people are a little confused as to what makes a good fighting game. Yeah, so just don't bully people. Okay, first up, a lot of why not 1v1, why team. First of all, it's not even 3v3, so I don't know what this person's on. Project L, first of all, not even a title. This is like a project title. It's 2v2, and a lot of people are also confused about how that works. So it'll be one player versus one player, but both of them are playing two characters each. You'll play one at a time, and you can just choose when you want to bring in your other person, or you can switch out. So yeah, but you do have two characters. There's the main one, and then there's a secondary one that's hiding out in the background. Yeah, so you'll see it right here. So there is like the main guy who's here, and then you can get a secondary echoes in the back here. He just jumped in, did one thing, and then he'll jump out. So that's how the game works. There's one dude that you're playing, and you can call in the second one, and you can switch him. And then the other guy would be your main guy, and then this guy will be in the background. So yeah, that's how that works. But yeah, a lot of people have this opinion of why not 1v1. That's like a big decision. They obviously want to explore a lot of different mechanics with like teammates and stuff. It's not just, oh, League is a team game, make this one a team game. So I'm sure that played some part of it. I would say the biggest factor is probably that League of Legends has like 150 characters, 160 characters, and team games, they do two things. One, they'll allow for a bigger roster, so you can have more characters. It's like more justifiable to have a bigger roster. That's probably one big reason as to why they picked that for League of Legends, because there's so many characters, cool characters to pick from, and it's already have like an existing player base that people are really passionate about those characters. So like, why wouldn't you pick from that roster? You know what I mean? And two, characters from team games are actually like simplified. They're not crazy complex, they're not like a Tekken character at all. They're not even like a Street Fighter character. They're pretty simple, so people shouldn't feel intimidated to learn characters in this game, because they're gonna be like pretty simplified down. They're not gonna have like light, medium, heavy. They're just gonna have like attack A, attack B probably. So yeah, this it opens up a lot of possibilities. There's some people that are I don't know, they're a little lost. I don't know what this means. This just goes to show that you shouldn't take opinions too seriously, man. Like, I don't, what, there's some pretty rich defensive mechanics in today's games, man. I don't know what this, what, yeah, there's some wacky opinions out there. That's why I picked this one. This just represents all of them, I guess. I was looking for easy to read gameplay. Characters are jumping, dashing, running all over the place. Might be too old for this type of game. It's a little complex, it's a little fast paced, but that's what fighting games are kind of about. A lot of things are like too fast to react to. I know people talk about, oh, the reactions. You kind of don't. It's more predictions, and just knowing people's options. But like the same thing happens in League. You know what a character does and you play around it. They do move a bit fast, but it feels better once you're in game, and obviously when you play a little bit, you get used to it. Because like, yeah, any game. I was just playing Dwarf Fortress, the new one, earlier today. Actually, it's right here. It was even highlighted. I didn't know what I was doing in that game. There's stuff everywhere. And that's like the good one. I have the old one here. This one's ASCII, and so I don't know what anything is. I don't know how to make people do things. I don't know how to like start a med bay. Or, like, I don't know how to do anything. It's overwhelming. That's how new games are, or games that you're new to. That's just gonna happen, man. It's not bad though. It's just a new player experience. How about giving us the news regarding console version? Because many of us truly crave that version. This is actually true. There's a ton of comments like this, and this guy has an excellent point. Tournament organizers, like, that would be sick for tournaments. But Riot Games is mainly PC, so this is actually kind of, you know? This is actually a big question, because they recently did like the Xbox Game Pass thing with League. I don't even know exactly what it is, but there's a console thing in League. That's new. That's weird. So this might be happening. Might be like an Xbox exclusive. That would kind of suck. And just, it'd be cool to have everyone playing the game. But this is we need to know about this, Riot. Yep, designed for pro, not casual. This is actually super wrong. This is super designed for casual. You could tell because they made it a team game, so characters are naturally going to be more simple. 2, they straight up said it's going to be more simple. There's no like crazy inputs or anything. You just hit the button, direction and the button. And 3, like, what do you mean? I think this person might just be scared of long combos. You could just not do the long combos, you know, because the longer a combo is, the less damage the hits do. So if you just do like a pretty simple combo, I'm sure you'll be fine damage wise, you know. All combos do is like end the game faster, you know. So in League of Legends, this will be like how Iron and Bronze players, once they win a team fight, they're like, what do I do? Do I go get Dragon? Do I take towers? Do I get Baron? What am I doing, right? More experienced players still like immediately win a fight, and they'll know like if I go first like towers, I can get like inhib probably, and then from there I'll like back off, take jungle as I go, ward Baron, back, get my wards back, go forward, and then like take Baron after I buy items and everything. You know, they'll like be more powerful. They have like this strict setup, and like they'll just fuck people up. It's kind of like that. Like you can mess around, you can kind of struggle your way to the end. That's totally fine. You don't have to have like this perfect solution or anything. You don't have to have like the big combo. You can just play a little longer, and you know, you're fine. All these bigger combos and like strict setups and all this stuff, all that really does is make it so your opponent has to make less mistakes to lose, you know? If you like hurt them less, obviously, they'll survive longer, but as long as you're doing decently, like you're playing all right, you can win the game. So I'm not sure exactly what this person's talking about. Oh, also, obviously, it's free to play, so they're literally saying like, come on in, dude. This also popped up a few times. Well, they looks amazing. Yep, it does. But here's where it gets interesting. They say, my only complaint is that it can be a bit visually hard to read. There's so many flashy light effects, it's hard to actually see the moment of impact, and there is no real way to see the difference in power between strikes. Everything just looks max power, and you just presume impact from the effects. Many of the classic fighters like Garo, KOF, Marvel, etc. have great readability when it comes to strength and impact of a move. You don't need to see health go down to know how much impact you're having. So this has a few things going on. First of all, we'll talk about like the visuals, and second of all, like the readability. Even though like visuals is part of it, you have to remember this is not a finished game. This is like, things are not gonna look like this or sound like this. Do they even have sounds?
30% complete. Right now, the team is focused on fully realizing their combat fantasy as a big body brawler.
I'm hearing like the same hit sound effect for all of these. I'm sure they're gonna have lighter hit sounds, lighter, heavier, medium. You know, they'll have different sound effects for different hits. I'm sure. I did hear a little bit, but I think that's her like orb hitting Jinx and her fist make like a different sound effect. Yeah, there seems to be like partially like missing or partially missing sound effects there. It's a little weird, and like characters are emotional. Like she's getting hit right here, and she's like, you know, like it's not done. We're not done here. Okay, so it'll be different. It is a little flashy, but I mean, I think it's pretty easy to see when someone gets hit. You know, there always seems to be yellow or blue sparks. I mean, I'm sure it depends on whatever you're hitting them with. I think it's fairly easy to see. You just remember, you have to remember to keep your eye on the main target, right? The main the point character. Yeah, there's not too many crazy stuff. Like Marvel's way crazier, I think. Maybe not in the regular hits, but like there's some like Marvel Infinite has like the stones, and like Gems, what's it called? The storms, they get a little nutty, dude. Yeah, like that beam, I wouldn't, there's plenty of games with crazier beams than that, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that this game looks way too crazy or anything. It's unfinished, so it's probably gonna look crazier actually when it's done, if anything. Because characters are gonna be more expressful, but that expressfulness will also help like read what's going on, you know? I think that one's a bit much. The burst has a bit. Because everything with tag team mechanics has like a green spark. Or no, this is active switch, right? This is hand tag something. I don't know what, I forget what it's called. I'm gonna keep calling it active switch because it's BB tag. So that was just assist. This assist into active switch. So now this is the point character. This is like a burst. And he's doing a thing, like I think she's still the point character. So there's just green burst everywhere. And earlier there's a thing that we do an attack and then this guy jumps into an attack, but that also uses a green burst, a green like flash. So there's this green and then there's this like greenish yellowish. So now he's the point character, obviously. So I think that's a bit chaotic, where it just everything team based is a greenish yellowish flash thing. I'm sure they can clean it up. It's not so bad because there's like the small circle for active switch, there's the big circle for the weird burst thing, and there's like a big hit stop and a couple yellow flashes for whatever this is, where you like active switch into an ongoing combo. It's fairly readable. This is like our first look, and we're getting like seconds of gameplay, like clips per clip, you know. So I'm sure it won't be so bad once we actually get the game in our hands and once we see it more. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but you do continue to voice your concerns about like visual clarity because right, they're making the game, so if you do it now they can fix it now, so keep doing that. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. A lot of people had this question: looks very slow, and why is it freezing after every hit / block? That's part of the game. You want that to be there. This looks pretty, like when they're in motion, this is pretty fast. That was a backdash, IAD into something, backdash, instant air dash, hit. I would say this is fairly fast paced. But like, look, she was moving. Cross up. Boom, boom, boom. I think it looks fine. But yeah, the stops, that's so you can visually confirm like, oh, I got a hit, and then you can like do something about it. Let me see if I can find a good clip. I'm gonna have to frame by frame it. So yeah, characters dash up. Ari's actually attacking here. So it's like who's getting hit here, right? You have to. It's hard to tell, man. It looks like Ari's gonna land because she actually like swung first. But there's a little freeze, and you can actually see Ari react barely. And here, like, and then yeah, you know. So that's, you're gonna need that hit stop to be like, who, and then you're like, oh, Ari got hit, right? It's a little hard to see for us, but imagine like gameplay where you're like thinking about other stuff and you're a little distracted. So you're gonna need that little flash, that little stop to be like, someone got hit. Like in actual gameplay, because this is like who knows if this is like set up or if this is just two people playing and that just happened. In actual gameplay, I could see people doing this and not being sure who got hit, and then they would call this assist late. So they would call it late, and then the Ari would just block, and then be like, oh, I missed my opportunity. That's a totally common situation that happens in fighting games. But this is totally normal mechanic. You'll find it in all fighting games. You'll find it in like Smash Bros too. It's everywhere. It's totally normal. This one, we need EX moves like Street Fighter Alpha. Runes in League of Legends should be equipable, like Vsum, Xum to give you combos. Yeah. Don't know about that first part. I mean, we'll see. I like EX moves, but we'll see. I super agree with this second part though. For those that don't know, if you're coming from the fighting game side, runes in League of Legends, they're like stuff that give you little bonuses. There's some like give you like stats. They're just like do a little bit more attack, have a little bit more defense, attack a little bit faster. But then there's like big ones that's like oh, when you get a kill or something, get extra gold. When you land an ability, you get some mana back, or there's stuff like that. And then there's like bigger ones that are called like keystone runes, that kind of add more oomph. So like a keystone rune would be like when you go in and you like hit someone with like a crowd control, you'll start glowing and you'll get like way more like defensive stats, and then you'll like explode, and that explosion like hurts the enemy too. So you get like 2 things out of that one, and it's like kind of strong. Or there's one that's like when someone's in low health, they'll like start glowing a bit, and if you hit them when they're glowing, it like pops them and you deal extra damage, and it counts forever. If you keep popping people, that pop will be bigger the next time and bigger the next time and bigger the next time. And so there's stuff like that. So it's like, what do you want to do with your character? And like what the character wants to do, you can pick off that, or like what you want to do with your character, you can pick off that. So runes actually add kind of a lot to League of Legends, so it would be really cool to see in this game too. But I'm not sure if they're gonna do that, because they have tags. Tags do a lot actually. Like active switch gives you so many options, because like look at this. All right, backdashes, sees a chance to go in, he goes in. This is like probably unsafe or something, so she's like, oh, my offense is kind of over here, but then normally it would be, but then that's what Echo's here for. He does this, Jinx has to block, so now Ari's like, cool, now I get to go in again and try to get some more offense. Normally that would be at the end of it, but because of active switch, you could just switch back to Echo, and you're like, oh, is Ari gonna keep attacking, or is Echo gonna keep attacking? And you're like sandwiched in between them, so you have to pick like, where do you want to block? It adds so much, right? And that's just with these two. There's more you can do with these two, and you can just pick another character, right? You can keep Ari and trade in Darius and be like, oh, what can I do with these two? There's already a lot going on. I think runes that might be like a bit much, dude. But who knows? You know, Marvel has Infinity Stones, so I don't know. It might be a little too early to tell, but that would be sick. I agree. Runes would be sick. This is what's called handshake tag. Does handshake tag look like it has crazy mix-up potential, or is that just me? No, you're right. It's yeah, I think you just saw it here. It's the same clip we just saw. So boom, this is high-low already. It's like, am I gonna block high or low? These are all like regular attacks, so you can block either high or low. When Echo comes in, this is already like high or low, and oh, it's like left-right because the spacing. And now you're in between them, so this is also a sandwich. It's also high-low. She can go low here because she's standing blocking, or she can just switch, and she does, and it switched and then low. So yeah, there's already crazy mix just in this clip. BB tag has this. It has exactly this. It's called active switch. That's what I've been calling it. And here it's called handshake tag. That's a crappy name. I'm not calling it that. But yeah, it's gonna get dirty. There's a lot of mix-up potential. So, but that's also why they need like strong defense mechanics. So that's probably what we saw earlier when the Darius like popped in and like bursted, and he might jump out. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but we'll see. Every time they show us gameplay, there's no health or UI or anything. So we'll have to really wait and see what the meters are going to look like, because we don't know how often this can happen. Hope I'm not the only one who hates tag team fighting games. Based on my experience from Skullgirls and Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, I feel like the tag is going to get abused a lot. Yeah, but that's the point of a tag game, you know what I mean? That's like saying, oh, in Street Fighter, I feel like the super meter is going to get abused a lot. I feel like the V skills are going to get abused a lot. Like, yeah, that's why it's in there, so you could use it, right? Like, if you're a League player, that's like saying, like, oh, these runes are in the game. Oh, I feel like people are going to abuse the shit out of the runes. It's like, yeah, they are. They're going to pick the best runes for the character. They're going to mess you up with them. Like, yeah, it's there for you to play around with. That's part of the game. That's part of the toolbox, you know? That's yeah. That's the game. It's just crazy, and crazy's fun. Now I'm afraid that I won't be able to adapt very well to the tag team decision. My brain melts trying to read one character. Imagine 3. Not 3, it's 2. There's actually a great conversation here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read all of it. 2, and technically you're just reading one player's decisions, because you are just playing the one player. I need to know the movements of the character to know what's possible and what's not. It's possible to have a general idea without knowing that, sure, but knowing when I'm frame positive, knowing when his neutrals are better, knowing his range and stuff is all tied to the character. But that's also stuff you're gonna like worry about in any other game. That's stuff you worry about in League, like who's better at this range, who's better in this position. Oh, the Blitzcrank is in front of me, I should go to the right, you know, have the minions between us. It's all stuff you gotta worry about, and if you don't know about it, you're gonna get hit by it, and you better learn. You know, that's just how PvP works. That's the game. That's basically the same as learning the matchup in a 1v1 game. Exactly. It just takes more time, but you'll never be done learning any fighting game, no matter if it's tag or not. And they said, fair enough. It's true, right? Like, you just have to take it like piece by piece. You're playing against an Ari, and then when active switch happening, then you're suddenly playing against the Darius. Ari is no longer like a factor in the combo kind of thing. Look right here. Ari's done. Now it's just Darius. And like you're still playing the same player, so they might do like, you'll see that they're playing like a certain space or like a certain button that they like using, a certain attack they like using. That is the game. You know, your opponent's gonna present a problem for you, and you're either gonna get hit by it, or you're gonna try like block it or burst it or dodge it, or you know, you have to give in some kind of solution. They give you a problem, you find a solution. You are then a problem for them. They'll try to find a solution. That is fighting games. That is League of Legends. Even that's how lane works, right? Like, oh, I'm getting bullied. I don't know how to fight this matchup. That's part of the game. The amount of passion and work put into this is very obvious, and I will play it. Sick. However, I am a bit disappointed that the overall mechanics and frame data are a mishmash from different games like Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball FighterZ. Was hoping for something more original from the mechanical aspect. We'll have to play it though, so I can see if I eat my own words. A couple things. One, we don't have fucking frame data, so no, that's not a thing. Second, this is not like Guilty Gear or Dragon Ball Fighters. This is like BB Tag. This is a little bit like Marvel. I heard some people say it's like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Haven't played it, can't really say anything about it, but you can definitely feel BB Tag and Marvel, because people are wave dashing in here, and that's the thing Marvel has. You'll see people go like, if you follow my mouse, you go like this is a horrible example. There. That's it. That's the wave dashing. That's in Marvel. Let's do quarter speed. That might be too slow. Look at Jinx. Boom, boom. See the dust? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's wave dashing. That's in Marvel. And also like Marvel, they have the like mid combo calling your dude. In Marvel Infinite, they have that. When you tag, they like slide in and they'll crash into your opponent, and it counts as like a hit. And they kind of do it later on here. Not like that. That's an active switch. That, right? It's like you do a thing, and then you call your assist as you're doing the thing, and they instantly like in the combo. And here, Jinx launches Ari like into the air, and when you call in Darius already up there. But in like Marvel Infinite, your teammate would slide in or fly in and bump like chest bump into your opponent, basically. It's basically what this is, but there's no bump. They just put them where the opponent is, and you can do your combo from there. So that's very Marvel Infinite, and like the tag mechanics so far seem very BB Tag. Third of all, it's unique. Like I just said, Marvel, you like bump them, and then you can do certain combos. There's also a weird system in Marvel where there's like a certain way combos work. Doesn't look like it's gonna work like that in this game. Combos work different. The game is gonna be different. This game has active switch. Marvel doesn't have active switch. It's gonna be different. Like it has some stuff from other games, but like, you know, it happens. It's got its clear inspirations, but this is its own thing for sure. We need to really see the meters, because that's really gonna determine a lot, because we don't know how everything's gonna work. And yeah, so that's the gist of it. That's most of what people are saying from what I've seen. I mean, we can do a quick scan. You don't need a joystick. You don't need a joystick. You'll be fine with controller / keyboard. And obviously tons of people are requesting characters galore. Character. I hope they add your favorite character, dude. Obviously, people are saying long combos. They're not that long. Even when they are long, it's because they're extending it with like active switch, and then whatever the other thing is, I don't know what it's called. You can make them long if you want to, but you can also not, and you'll be fine. But yeah, I think this game looks great. It's still in development, but even now it looks pretty good, even without like much facial animation or like unfinished effects like that. Jinx's lasers and stuff look a bit rough. It looks a little like Flash animation-ish. Echoes looks clean. They really care about Echo, because Echo looks sick. Yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. I just want to clear up some like misconceptions and talk about what people are talking about. But yeah, if you watched this far, thanks for watching. If you are a League player, don't call assists ganks, because they'll make fun of you. This, when you call a teammate, don't call that a gank. It's an assist. Okay, bye.